Good evening everybody, my name is Osa. Tonight we're playing Farm Sim 19 on the Old Stream Farm. And we have some harvesting to do. We have some crops to weed. We have some crops to fertilise. And we have some sheep to feed and clean out. Let's do the sheep first. Okay. Where do I keep the water? Ooh, right over there. Oh yeah, they made a mess. And we've got a full pallet of wool, yay! Watering the Bowser, so... Oops. Excuse me, ducks. Oops. Let's go forwards. Happy birthday plan. Hey, sheeps. Empty. Okay. Hey, Long Hauler, how you doing? That really doesn't take long to fill, does it? That should be almost all the water taken care of. We'll go with pretty much sufficient. So, next up, put this back. Gonna need the door open on both sides, so hope the sheep don't run away. Should have a sheepdog. Sit him in the entrance to the sheep pen. Keep them there while we deal with other stuff. So, that's the water thing. ETS2, what city do you recommend starting in? I would probably start in one of the newer cities, Italy, or north of Poland. Sweden's good as well, but sort of old Germany and old UK, they kind of need some work. I think I started my most experienced character in Sweden because Sweden had just come out. My ATS or my multiplayer character I started in Warsaw, Poland, because that's where we were playing multiplayer from. And then my most recent one I started in the south of Italy. I'm going to drive through Malta. Okay. So that was it. Interesting. We dump the grass out the back. Engine revving is. We picked up all the grass the easy way. So that's how to clean up a sheep pen without a front loader. I discovered that way back in what was it? Goldcrest. First farm I played in FarmSim. It was basically, hey, let's just scoop up the grass in this thing, because this thing is made to scoop up grass. Okay. Now, what do I want to do? I want to load this up with about 10,000 litres of grass. Let's do that. My brain has completely gone to mush. I forgot which button fills. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 and a bit. Okay. Was actually quite close to 10,000. Gummy bears again! Yay! Put that in the drop spot. That is pretty much close enough. And if you hadn't noticed, we now have 40 sheep. And the next animal will appear in 2 hours. Nice. Okay. Well, we don't need the loading wagon anymore, at least not for now. Now, this is going to be tricksy. Turn that way. Ugh. Yeah, I tend to avoid those. 200,000, and that's just the pay. Don't forget, there's the the potatoes that they weren't contracted to deliver, that you will harvest and you will deliver yourself, and will probably make a ton of money just on the excess. I mean, it was like yesterday, we did a barley contract, and that barley contract was only for 4,000, but the extra barley, we sold that for 6. So 10,000 for a contract that they were only paying us 4,000 for. Okay, so conflicting problems here. It looks like it's sunny all day. So I've got to weed, I've got to fertilise. Oh, I just went live. And I've got to harvest. I mean, for the most part, I avoid potatoes like the plague. I think that crop's too big. Okay. Because of the two crops, potatoes and the other stuff, sugar beets, I mean, they both yield about the same, but the potato harvester, the tractor mounted potato harvester, has an appalling work width. The big potato harvester does actually have a fairly good working width, but the tank capacity is much worse than customize. Okay, we need to put the horsepower back up to 130 and stick narrows on that. Reattach that. Right, so potatoes. This has 9,500 litre capacity, call it 10. Sugar beets, this one has 45,000. So you can take your time unloading this thing. Potatoes, not so much. When you go to the tractor mounted stuff, that's your topper. This is fairly reasonable. The problem is it's only got 1.8 metre working width. And you go and look at sugar beets. This has a 3 metre working width. So you're already ahead in the game. The capacity's poor on both of them though. Actually, the capacity is better on that one than it is on the beet harvester, but the working width is so poor it takes ages to harvest anything. And good evening, K Tigris, how you doing? We're doing well here. However, yes, as Longhauler points out, the great thing about potatoes is that they are seed. Now, if you want to plant a field of potatoes, it is going to cost you a metric ton of money buying the seed for the field, and that's quite bad. However, once you've planted the field, you can harvest the field, pull the potatoes off it, and then stick the potatoes straight into a planter and run out and plant a field. And it costs you nothing because, you know, potatoes are next to worthless. It's just the quantity you get that makes it most beneficial. What are we doing? We are unfolding. What's unfold? That button there. Month-long mileage war last month in ATS. Huh. But yeah, whoops, don't press that button, press that button. It's what I did on Mercury Farms, was I bought one of the starting fields. I think it was the starting field you start with the yard. So up until now, mostly I will go out, I will plough the potatoes in, I will plant something else. And by ploughing the potatoes in, I get a free load of fertiliser, which back in Farm Sim 17 was quite significant, because that's the third of your fertilisation just from ploughing in a bunch of potatoes that you're never going to sell. Oops. However, with Mercury Farm, what I decided to do was just harvest them. So I bought a tractor mounted harvester, harvested them all, and then kept the potatoes, because the Mercury Farm silos allow you to store potatoes in the silo. I think I've missed a stretch there. So I can store them indefinitely in the silo. I went and bought a potato planter and planted a field full of potatoes. And then I sold the rest. And each time I harvest a field full of potatoes, I harvest all of them. Ugh. I keep them until I've planted the next field, and then I sell the excess. So I'm effectively, making a fairly decent living off of potatoes, but I only do one field at a time, because frankly it does take a long time to do it. Now Mercury Farm, I am rich enough that I started with 2 tractors, and they're both in the 150 to 200 horsepower range. So I will tend to send one of the tractors out with the topper, and it can pull the heads off the potatoes. And then once that's done, I'll go back, get the potato harvester, and have both tractors out there. One will be hauling and one will be harvesting. But I have the equipment to do it. This farm, I don't have the equipment to do it. This tractor couldn't operate a potato harvester. Though the fields are a reasonable size, I could consider it. And I don't think the silo won't take potatoes, so you have to store them on the ground somewhere in the way. Definitely look at the Mercury Farms. Either that, or you need a root crop storage facility to stick your stuff in, because they really do take up a lot of space if you just dump them on the ground. Doing with this thing. Let's put the weeds back in. Oh, I am doing really bad. Maybe I should set this up on a worker. Go and drive the harvester for myself. Come on, tractor. So I really can't tell where these weeds are. us back off the road and zoom in. So just adjacent there, there's some. That's a big row. That's horrible. Pretty much good. All the way to the edge. Just make sure. That looks kind of close enough to get the job done, maybe. So, props are way too long to be able to see where. I'm not sure you're supposed to use a weeder on props this tall. Much like using narrow tyres. When stuff is first stage growth, you're basically looking at crop that bends, doesn't break. Okay, how's that look? That looks pretty much like where I need to be. At this height, you can probably break the stems, which is why you need narrow tyres. You probably shouldn't be dragging some huge implement behind you that's ripping up weed growth. Okay, let's unwind. Let's try to. Straight up to the end. You missed some. Darn it. I think I'll call that sufficiently done. Head down to the bottom of the field. I think what I'll do here is set the vehicle off on the worker. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll jump over. Why can't I jump to the harvester? really weird. I don't have any mods that put parking on. Where the heck? What the heck? Where's my harvester gone? What? Seriously, what happened to my harvester? That's not good. Garage. Did I sell it intentionally? I don't remember. Oh dear. Okay, we need a harvester. That one's 46,000. I'm going to need to borrow some money. Okay. I do not recall doing that. It should be sufficient. Okay. So this is 46,000. That's 60,000. That's 73,000. That's even bigger. So that has a capacity of 6,000, 7,500, 8,000. So 6,000 is sufficient. 200 horsepower. No changes on the wheel. We can have Mitas. We can have Trelleborg. Ooh, posh. Frankly, Lizard, Mitas, Trelleborg, Michelin's. I think I'm going with those. Without font. What does without font mean? I am not seeing... Oh, I see. It's got its name on the back. 1 warning light, 2 warning lights, 3 warning lights. Okay. There's one. One at the back and 2 at the front. Yeah. Okay, how much is that going to set me back? 46,000. We'll take it. And we are also going to need a header for this thing. I seriously do not remember selling that. C600 Mega 200 series is 6 meters wide. You know what? I can't see the difference. I'll have the red one. I do have enough money for that, don't I? Yes. Weird. You finished? What does that field look like now? You missed a whole section right here. Dude. Okay, so the worker did know better than me. I can't afford to do a worker. How did that work? Very slight. It's to the right. Okay. So I think I probably did sell that harvester in favour of the class because it has a wider working width. But what I didn't do was make sure that I bought the new harvester. And I probably spent the money on sheep.